Welcome to Knit 1 Heart 2. My name is Wendy, also known as Penny, and as you can see, Sheila, also known as Sheila D37, is not here today. She was going to be here, but at the last minute they called, one of the workers at her job called in and asked if someone could cover, and Sheila can use the extra hours, so she took it. Which is fine. We know that that can happen with her, and she told me to tell everybody out there that she is sorry not to be here, and she'll see you all next week. So hopefully this is going to be a quick show. I'm going to jump right in by saying that we are running a knit along, and somebody pointed out that I have it listed still as a baby knit along in the show notes, so I'm going to correct that. It is a lace knit along and crochet along. You can submit a photograph of any item that you complete during the knit along period as long as it has a lace portion. It can be in any weight of yarn, it can be knit or crochet, it needs to be lacy, which means it has holes in it, either yarn overs or holes formed by crochet stitches. So it leaves it pretty wide open. I hope that a lot of people will use this opportunity to maybe try a pattern that they were hesitant to try before. I think a really good way to learn lace, if you haven't done it before, is to knit something in a heavier weight. And you can make just about anything with a lace pattern on it. There are sock patterns, mitten patterns, hat patterns, scarves, everything. You don't just have to knit a doily or a lace shawl or something like that. So that will run until the end of July. And the show notes will link to the thread in our group that has all of the details. If you complete more than one project during the contest period, we encourage you to post separate pictures of each project so that your name is entered more than once for a prize. It's okay to do that. And if you haven't joined the group, you can join the group by clicking the button on our blog right over here. So I look forward to seeing all of those projects. I really enjoy looking at the threads to see what people are knitting. I get a lot of ideas from my queue. So I hope people have fun with it. And that would be my phone saying that my husband is having a meeting. It goes off every week. I forgot to put my phone on mute. So I'm going to jump right in with On the Needles. The first thing that I have on the needles to show you is the Crooked Walking Shawl by Ann Hansen. I've been working on this for the last few weeks. It is knit out of Nightingale Fibers. This is their card, Nightingale Fibers, at www.nightingalefibers.com. It is the Gray Sky colorway in the Martha base, which is baby alpaca and silk. And it's a really nice, soft yarn. It's really drapey because of the silk. I think it's going to be warm and very pretty. I got a lot done on this last week. Unfortunately, I'm in the middle of a row, but I have completed charts A through C, which is the garter stitch part portion and the lace portion, and I'm about to start the edging. And on the edging, you go up a needle size. Well, 2 needle sizes actually. You go from a 4 to a 6. No, I'm sorry, a 3 to a 4. So I'm knitting on my signature circulars that were gifted to me by my friend Angel McGar, and I will be moving up to these, which are my size 4 circs. So I'm looking forward to that. It's going really well. I'm going to show you a picture of the finished shawl so that you can see what it looks like, since the condition where I've stopped here is not really good for viewing, in case you haven't watched before. Let's see. This is what the finished shawl looks like. It's going to be beautiful. I can't wait for it to be done. So hopefully, because I only have one short chart left to do, you will see this finished next week. It's really, I love the construction because it has shoulder shaping, so it will stay on your shoulders when you wear it. more like a poncho would than a regular shawl. So that got a lot of love this week, and I'm keeping that in my Red Rabbit Knitting's My Bag bag. So there's that. The other thing that is on the needles is new, and it is called, let me pull up the pattern. It is called the Gooseberry Hat by Suvi Simola, and it looks like this when it is finished. It's knit out of sport weight. I'm using this, I can't remember what yarn this is now. It's the same yarn that I used for my rubber duck shoes. It's a baby acrylic yarn. It's very soft. And I've knit about 2 inches. And I'm knitting it to go with the baby rubber duck shoes that I showed last week, which are now completed. And the only other thing that I have on the needles right now, oh, and this pattern by this Gooseberry Hat pattern is free on Ravelry, which is nice. The only other thing I have on the needles right now or on the hook is my blanket project, which is now officially a project of shame. I have not worked on it in 2 weeks. I can't even stand the thought of working on it. I'm so tired of it. So I don't know. I'm really going to have to push myself to get that done. Maybe this week. Maybe this week I'll do a square. But that's all I have actively on the needles. I'm not even going to bother to show you the Vortex blanket because even looking at it makes me feel bad. So that's it for what's on the needles. I have one date to rate this week. These are, pull up that pattern too. These are the baby rubber duck shoes by Mad Monkey. And they look like this. They're cute. They look a little off. One of the ducks' head is crooked. And one of the ducks I sewed the beak on the bill a little wonky. But they're cute. I think they'll be very cute. And they are knit out of this same yellow yarn, acrylic baby yarn. Which I want to say, it's not Karen, it's the other one, Barocco. I want to say Barocco? I don't know. I can't really tell. I shouldn't even say. I'll look it up later. But they came out really cute. And what I did is I used some scrap orange yarn. It's actually some county yarn from my stash, some leftover county. And I used embroidery floss and I did French knots to make the little eyeballs on the ducks. And the heads are stuffed with a little bit of polyfill. This is a really quick pattern to knit up. I think the actual booty part only took me about 45 minutes. You knit them flat. So if you're a person who does not like to knit small objects in the round, this is a good booty pattern for you. You knit them in the flat and then you sew the little sides here and then all the way down the back to the sole. And it makes this nice little slipper shape. And then the head was also knit flat and sewed. So I probably, if I were to do it again, I think I would probably knit the head in the round just because I think it would be easier. But it's such a small circumference that it might, I don't know, maybe it wouldn't be easier. It might be better to do it flat the way that they did. But I think they're very cute. They do look like little ducks. And I think my niece, Princess Peach, will love them. And they will look really cute on her. So that is my official rate, my date rated. So I also have a whirlwind romance this week. I saw a lot of pictures that somebody had posted from of spinning from a festival, and it kind of inspired me to pull out my wheel. So I have this Superwash BFL, I think it's either Superwash Merino or Superwash BFL from Highland Handmaids in the This Is Just to Say colorway that I bought on one of Highland Handmaids updates. And if you don't watch Fibrista Files, Boutros Babe, Heather is the proprietor of Highland Handmaids. She makes some really pretty stuff. So this is what it looked like before I spun it. This is, I have a 4-ounce braid. I split it in half. So this is what I have left of the first half, and this is what I've spun so far. And you can see this is the really dark part, but there are also some really light parts. And I think I'm just going to spin it. I'm spinning it straight from the top, and I'll do the same for the other side. I'm going to 2-ply it. I'm shooting for a 2-ply fingering weight. It's hard for me to get really thin, but I think that'll work. Whoa! I need Sheila here. Sorry to throw this bobbin at the screen. I hope that didn't frighten anybody. I think it'll work out for fingering weight. I'm planning on knitting a little baby sweater from it for my niece. And if I have enough left over, maybe a pair of little socks too. We'll see. But it was a lot of fun to spin. I'm not used to spinning superwash. It's very slick. I had to actually I had to use the slower whirl on my spinning wheel. I usually use the fastest speed that I own. And for long draw, it was pulling the fiber is so slick, it was just shooting it out of my hand. So I actually used the slower groove on my fast whirl. And I don't know, I might actually go down even to my slow whirl, so we'll see. And but it's really nice. The fiber's really nice. I love the colors. It's this deep plummy rose color and a pale pink and a little bits of white in there. And I'm just going to apply it together randomly. I'm not trying to match up the colors or make it stripe or anything so that it will have more of a heathered effect. So I'm really interested to see how this looks when it's finished and when it's knit up. So yeah, finally back at the spinning. And more on the spinning front. For those of you who spin, Tour de Fleece is going to start at the end of June and go until the end of July. And I am on the Into the World team where if you want to post photos in the group for prizes, you need to spin Into the World product. And as people who have watched the show know, I have a lot of Into the World from the clubs that I need to catch up on spinning. So a part of my Tour de Fleece is going to be spent on spinning that Into the World. But the first week or so of it, I am going to finish spinning the Diabolical Yarns. Now I'm not going to be Flower Shop Inferno that I have for my sweater. I had bought 2 pounds, 1.5 pounds or 2 pounds from Diabolical, and I have half of it spun. So I need to spin the remaining pound. So I want to finish that up first before I move on to the Into the World. So I have also joined the Shocked spinning team, which will allow you to enter if they have prizes for anything that was spun on a Shocked spindle or wheel. And I own 2 spinning wheels, a Sidekick and a Ladybug. They are both Shocked wheels. So anything that I spin on them will count towards prizes that they might offer. And I don't know if Diabolical Yarns is having her own team. I'll have to check because I could totally join that too, since I'm going to be spinning for at least half of the tour. I really want to finish that yarn first, and then I'm going to spend the rest of the tour seeing how much I can get done of the clubs that I have. So I think that'll be fun. I won't be knitting much during the tour, a little bit just to take a break from spinning, but not the kind of knitting that I usually do, just to give you a heads up. So I hope that I'm thinking I'll put a thread in the group that if you're in the Tour de Fleece and you want to share your progress just for fun, you can show it. And in fact, I might even draw one person from those photos for a fiber prize, because I'm sure I could find something in my stash that could be given as a prize. So I'll put more details about that in the show notes and in the group. So keep an eye on that if you're a spinner. So that's all I have for Whirlwind Romance. Future dates. I wasn't expecting to start this little Gooseberry Hat, but so that's an unexpected future date. But I am still planning, after I get the Blanket of Evil done, I am going to either do the seashell shawl, which I've shown you before, which is one of the patterns that I got from Yarn and Fiber Company in Derry, New Hampshire. I'm going to knit that out of Blue Moon Fiber Arts silk thread. And the other thing I have on the back burner is the Hero sweater, which I am going to knit out of yarn that I bought at Webb's, their own line of yarn. So I'm not going to bother to drag that out again because I think that we've seen it before. But I will quickly show you the patterns in case you have not seen them. The seashell shawl looks like this. It's really pretty. And the silk that I'm going to knit it from is a gray, silvery gray color. It's beautiful. And the Hero sweater, which is designed by Julia Farwell Clay, looks like this. It comes 2 versions to the pattern. You can knit a cardigan and a pullover. I am going to knit a pullover because I feel like I have plenty of cardigans. So hopefully that will get started sometime during the summer. That might be my Rhinebeck sweater because I think it's really pretty. So that's it for my future dates. And the next thing that I have are crushes and heartbreaks. And I don't have a lot this week. My crush is that we're all done with the testing that I've been having done for my son, and that went really well. So I think he'll be ready to start the school year. And I'm just relieved that we got a lot of stuff straightened out. He had something called hypovestibular syndrome, and we've learned that's why he moves around so much. And we found they gave us a lot of good tips on how to help him with that. So we're going to try some of those this summer and see if it works out. And we found out that it might also be related to the ear issue that he's having looked at Mass Eye and Ear. So I feel like we made a lot of progress. I was very worried about that meeting, and I'm glad that it's over with. And I guess my heartbreak would be that Sheila's not with me today because it's a lot more fun to do this when she's here and I have somebody to talk to and I get to see what she's doing. Because she's working so much now, the time that we record together is often the only time that I actually get to see her during the week. I talk to her almost every day, but it's the time that we record and the time afterwards when we're hanging out here is the time that we get to spend together. So it's kind of sad to miss out on it this week, but I know that she's excited to get the extra hours at work. It's good experience for her and it's extra money in her pocket. So I'm glad that she was able to take that those hours for the employee that didn't show up. So those are my crushes and heartbreaks. Oh, my other heartbreak is I wish it would stop raining every single day. It's nice out right now, but I feel like mushrooms are going to start growing in my house. It's rained so much. And I know people all over the country are having terrible storms. I'm ready for it to be actual summer where it's warm every day and it's not raining and cold. It was in the 50s yesterday, and when I went out for my walk, I could actually see my breath in the air at one point. So I know it was cold. And that's a little crazy since it's the middle of June. So I don't know what's going on with this weather, but I'm ready for it to go back to the normally scheduled weather for this time of year. So, the next thing that I have are Baubles and Bling. I have one thing that I totally forgot to show last week. As you know, last week I showed you the things that I got at the Maine Fiber Frolic, where I went with a couple of my friends, met up with Lois from Knitting's My Bag, Heather from Highland Handmaids, and Katie, who is from the Knitting on the Fly podcast. And I was with my friends Lisa and Kathy. I had brought my bag of stuff over to the camera to show, and this particular thing fell out. And I didn't notice until after we had recorded. So if you watched last week, Josette, I'm really sorry. I feel really bad. But this is what I bought from my friend Josette, who is the proprietor of Enchanted Knoll Farms. And this is her business card. This is Black Magic Woman. It is a 4-ounce bat. I love her bats. They're amazing. And it is made from wool, sparkle, and sari silk. And the wool is superwash. And she put it inside this plastic for me because her bats are so fluffy that they, I don't know, I call it getting Josette all over everything. It just comes off onto your stuff. So she put it in there for me. There is no way that this lighting is going to do justice to this. I hope you can see just a little bit of what it looks like. It's black, but it has all of these beautiful jewel-toned silk fibers and sparkles in it. And it is just amazing. A lot of blue and pink and gold. The sparkle is gold. There's some, looks like some silver sparkle in it. It's going to be amazing. I think that I want to spin it for lace so that I can knit some kind of a very fancy shawl in it. And like all of her bats, it's so soft. And you really don't have to do much to get these to spin up beautifully because her fiber is so well prepared. So, and Josette was the one, when I bought it, she also, as a bonus, sung the song Black Magic Woman to me in front of her teenage son who ran away in embarrassment. So that was kind of the bonus thing. She also has a club. I don't know if there are any openings in it, but check her out at Enchanted Knoll Farm. You can find her at www.enchantedknoll.etsy.com and www.enchantedknoll.com. Those are both of her websites. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you buy her stuff, you will not be disappointed. I buy something from her every time I'm lucky enough to see her. So, that's it right here. And then I have some things that are not my Baubles and Bling, but something that my mom got when she was away this weekend. My mom went up to Maine, and she had heard about this new yarn store, or I don't know if it's new, but a yarn store called Rosemary's Gift and Yarn Shop, 2 shops in one. And the yarn shop is one of the largest selections in Maine, according to their business card. And you can find them at www.maine-crafts.com. And they are located in Windham. And this is their business card, Rosemary's Gift and Yarn Shop. And what I think is really amazing is that my mom found out that the woman who owns it is married to a man that my mother and her cousin used to play with when they were little, which is small world. So my mom reviewed the yarn shop, and she doesn't want to be my co-host on this show. So I am telling you her review secondhand. She said they have a huge inventory. They have a lot of beautiful yarn. And in the back, you can even find acrylic, is what she said. They had a huge selection of shawl pins. So she picked up this shawl pin. It's a wooden circle and a wooden stick. And it is by Paradise Exotic Shawl Pins. That's what it comes like. And she said there was a large selection of these. And the other thing she picked up, she got Happy Feet DK yarn. And it is in the number 55 colorway. I guess they don't have colorway names. That I believe she's going to use to make a cowl. And this lighting doesn't show it really well, but it's kind of a pinky red, variegated semi-solid. And she also picked up some regular Happy Feet yarn in colorway number 28, which is very pretty. I don't know what she's going to do with this, because I don't think this is enough to get... Did you buy 2 of these? She bought 2 of these, so she's going to make a pair of socks out of it. I like that. I think I might own this in my stash because it looks really familiar to me. So if you are in Windham, Maine, you should definitely check out Rosemary's Gift and Yarn Shop. My mom really enjoyed her trip there, and she would go back. So I'm going to have to check it out the next time I'm up in Maine in that area. So that's all I have for Baubles and Bling this week. Oh, I'm wearing the necklace that Sheila got me for my birthday with the gnome in a jar. And my Prison of Azkaban shirt, which I look like this because I walked today at the mall. So gossip and innuendo. There's really not much. There's not much going on in the fiber world right now. That, in terms of events that are near us. I know that there are big events coming up this summer, like the SSK event and the Stockinette Zombie event. But those are not in New England. And I usually don't travel outside of this area to go to events like that. The next event that I was planning on attending, that's up in the air now, is the fiber event I can never remember the name of it, in Newburyport, Massachusetts. It is on August 10th. It is at a farm in Newburyport, and it is sponsored by the Spinning Guild that I attend. And I always want to call it Fiber Frolic, but that is Fiber Revival is the name of it. It is called Fiber Revival. I will link to Fiber Revival on the show notes so you can get information. It's a great event if you have children. They have a lot of demonstrations. You can watch people spinning. Last year they had, 2 years ago, they had weaving demonstrations where the kids got to use these little tiny looms. They usually have jeweler Leslie Wind there, and she helps kids and adults if they want to make pieces of jewelry by hammering metal. And there will be a lot of vendors there. I know that Enchanted Knoll Farms is going to be there. Jessalou Bags is going to be there. Spunky Eclectic is usually there. Yarn and Fiber Company. All the people that are local, that our friends that I know through being in this guild, are going to be vending there. So it's a lot of fun. And then it's a farm, so there's other stuff you can look at. There's usually animals grazing in the pasture, and there are some older buildings that you can go into and look at, and they have beer and food there, and it's a fun event. Unfortunately, I think that is the day that my sister-in-law is having her baby shower. So I'm not sure how much of the day, if any, I'm going to be able to be there. But I have to, I can't miss my sister-in-law's baby shower. So we'll see what happens. Maybe Sheila will go up. We'll have to see. I don't know what time the baby shower is. Maybe I'll go up first thing in the morning. But I will know more about that as the summer goes on. I think that's pretty much it in terms of stuff that's going on. I've really enjoyed the feedback that we got on the weight loss stuff in the thread for last week's show. I got so many good tips and ideas from people who posted in there, and I think it's great. Keep posting your tips in the weight loss support thread, and I think it's wonderful that people are sharing their experience. Thank you to the people that have friended me on Fitbit. I like seeing where I fall with all of you guys that are also walking, and I have a tip for walking. It had not occurred to me, but when my mom was here the other day and it was raining, she suggested how a lot of people walk at the mall. So today, now it's nice out, but it was pouring down rain this morning, we went over to the mall. We had errands to do there, and I walked in the mall, and that was actually faster and easier than walking the street, just because I'm still not really good with my leg on uneven ground. And the mall, of course, is level. So I didn't have to look at my feet so much, and until it started to get more crowded towards the time that we left, I could really crank around there. And I got about 6,000 steps in. So that was a really good day, and a good tip to me. If I don't feel like going and walking on the treadmill in the gym, that's another option for me, because we live so close to the city. We're within it's less than 10 minutes drive to a mall, a big mall. So I'm going to probably do that again. There's lots to look at in the mall. You can stop and I stopped and got an iced tea while I was walking. If you have errands there, they have, you can do them at some of the stores. And I actually got a great deal on a footstool. So at the end of my walk, I went to the TJ Maxx / Home Goods. So I think it's a good idea. I don't think I would want to walk there every day because I kind of enjoy the outdoors. but it is definitely a good tip for those days when it's just not possible to walk outdoors. And maybe as the weather gets worse, that I might be doing that more often. My mom says that the mall opens early so that walkers can walk before any of the stores are open. So that might be good too, because I could really crank if there weren't that many people in there. So yeah, I'm enjoying that. And I think that's all there is. This is a short one this week. I wish it could be longer, but I just don't have that much to share. Sorry. It's been a long week. It's been an emotional roller coaster week with everything that we had to get done. I'm also trying to get my kids through to the last day of school. They have 4 more days of school left after this. And I got to get them ready. They're going to go out of town with my mother and father and stay with them for a couple of weeks so we can get work done on our house. So there's a lot going on in my household right now too. But I guess that's all I have to say, other than if this is your first time watching, usually I have Sheila here, and she makes the show a lot more interesting. And I hope that people will join in on the unofficial spinning team for Tour de Fleece in our group. I'm going to set up a little thread for that. And if you've watched before, thank you for coming back. I'm pretty confident Sheila will be with me next week. And I hope that everyone has a great week of knitting. Knit with heart. Bye.